Welcome back to Safa's Unscripted, episode 169. Brevan, we have got so much to talk about today. People are obviously here for the predictions as well, right, when it comes to the Champions Cup. But if you're only here for the predictions, you can skip a couple of minutes. I always say I'll put in timestamps, but I keep on forgetting to put in timestamps. So we're going to chat about literally South African National Rugby News Day that was happening, what was it, on Tuesday? Because this is going out on Friday. We're filming on Wednesday. So much has happened. It is absolutely ridiculous. So before we get into that, please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for this lovely journey so far. But before we even get into that, Brevan, tell us how you're doing. Your rugby season is starting. Are you excited?
Yeah, but obviously we don't want everyone to skip because we'll be chatting who the Springboks are playing in November, I'm sure, and it's very spicy. So obviously they'll want to hear about that and the opinions on that. But yeah. Doing well, and rugby underway. Obviously I was supposed to start last week, but I remember we were blatantly ill, but so I couldn't. So yeah, back at rugby preseason basically. And yeah, another whole 8 months or 10 months basically of rugby. So looking forward to it. But yeah, keen to chat about what's happening and obviously the predictions. And it's good to see rugby being healthy again, which is, it's always been healthy, but it's getting really healthy, which is great.
Yeah, we'll most likely fly through the fixtures because there's so much to talk about. First and foremost, let's chat about the fixtures for the Springboks for the Autumn Nations that has been released. Obviously, we know we're playing Italy and whoever when they come down to South Africa.
Oh yeah, when they come to South Africa,
in July, yeah. But we're facing Italy again at the end of the year in Italy. We're facing Wales. We're facing Ireland at the Viva. And we are facing a quarterfinal rematch against the French. Let's forget about the Italy and Wales fixtures just for a second. I'm not writing it off, but obviously the main talking point of the fixtures would be those two big ones, Ireland and France. How did you feel when you saw that?
Obviously, that's what we want, right? Because when we had our previous fixtures announced for the previous Autumn Nations, and we had, obviously, I still think England should be in there no matter what. So it's a bit disappointing not to play them. But ultimately, we're playing France, we're playing Ireland, and that's what we wanted in the previous Autumn Nations, and now we're getting it. So it's good for the fans because the fans want to see the best teams go up against each other. And I would be lying if I said I go into those two games like very confident because the French are going to absolutely throw everything at us. Like it is going to be insane. Like that game is going to be brutal. And then you have that Irish game, which is just obviously it's this new rivalry that's just ignited and obviously especially from a fan's point of view where you're going to be looking at two teams that want to prove that they're the best in the world, and they're going to throw everything at it again. And obviously, we've had our struggles in Ireland, so it's a very interesting series and or a tour. And it's going to be very, very interesting. Like
of course, they're going to throw the kitchen. France is going to throw the kitchen sink at it, and Ireland will want to assert their dominance or have a little stamp of authority in saying, listen, you beat us once in a couple of years now. Don't get too cocky because coming back to the Viva is no easy feat, right? Yeah. And they kind of have that aura of they look unbeatable at the Viva. Obviously, they've had their struggles. You know, they struggled against Australia. They got beat by New Zealand. It's a new year. You know, that's when Andy Farrell's back again, right? Because that's after the Lions and everything. So they'll be hungry for this one. They'll probably already be looking forward to that one. So that is an absolutely saucy thing. But we'll speak about that when it comes closer to the time. But wow, when I saw that, I agree fully. I feel like we always have to play England at the end of the year. Like we play Wales so much. I made a video on this on TikTok, and people are just like, why can't you just leave Wales alone? Well, obviously Wales were always good competitors for us, like it was always a tight game. It was always an ugly game. Don't get me wrong. It was always proper ugly game. But I would kind of take that fixture out, throw in England. Wow. Just think about how good that would be. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Let's chat about our franchises had some major news. Let's start off with
your franchise.
No, not yet. Well, let's start off with the Lions. Obviously, there's two massive things that could possibly happen. Well, one is confirmed. Henku van Wyk has signed another 2-year deal with the Lions. Now, obviously, he's good enough to play for any franchise in this country. He is a sensational player. But obviously, with that injury record that's hanging over his head, I got nervous for the guy. But to at least know that we will see him for another 2 years, even if it's at I'm talking about the Lions like they're a shitty team. But even if it's at the Lions, that is still massive for him. That's massive for the Lions because there's a lot of big money that people will probably be ready to spend on the likes of Henku van Wyk if that injury record picks up. So for them to keep a hold of him for another 2 years, that is massive for them. But then also a massive loss on the table. Well, just rumored that Frankie Horn could be leaving. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I always feel for the Lions because I remember when they had that, or you could call it the Avenger team with Malcolm Marks, Warren Whiteley, and the list goes on. That Super Rugby team that made 3 finals in a row. Like, that team was insane. And if you look back at the players they are today, you think, holy cow, imagine the Lions that kept those players. They would easily be the best team in the country, So, and they always tend to just lose these players, like Faf, Marks, and like I said, the list goes on. So it's obviously the Henku van Wyk thing is a massive positive because, I think they get to keep. I think obviously the goal is to keep him injury free and let him have a full season of rugby because ultimately then you're not losing out on talent. But then like the Frankie Horn thing is just that's a big loss because I feel like he's that Warren Whiteley type of player, very good, gives us all, good leader. And to lose that isn't the greatest, obviously, to go through. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting for the Lions because I feel like they struggle to keep a hold of their talent. But at the same time, I think they need to use Henku van Wyk at their disposal as the best as they can because after those 2 years, if he does have an injury-free 2 years, he either goes overseas or he plays for like a Sharks, Stormers, or Bulls. Let's be realistic.
That's where the finances are, and it's not necessarily a nice reality, but it is the reality of it. That's where most of the funding goes. That is where the money gets splashed. Anyway, let's move on from the Lions to the big boys, the greatest team to walk the earth at the moment, the Stormers. Now, we've heard the rumors of 2 to 4 players actually leaving. Weber might be on his way to France or England. Salman Murat might be on his way to France or England. Paul de Vet, is that still on the cards for the Bulls? Herschel Yankee is going to France. But get rid of all of them and give me Kobus Reinach all day long. I'm just kidding, by the way. Let's chat about Kobus Reinach because that's obviously the big news that came in. What was your obviously there was the rumors about it, but when it's confirmed, it just hits different.
Yeah.
Good signing, bad signing. What's your thoughts?
It's a great signing, I think, because I think you guys have struggled with scrum offs recently. I think there's not been a set scrum off that is your number 1-9 that takes you through a season. It's always been Herschel Yankees. He was very good at a stage, obviously when he burst onto the scene, and then he kind of fell off. And then Paul de Vet, and you obviously had Reinach at a stage, if I'm correct. Many different.
Again.
Yeah. So it's always been this rotation, and what I would like to see now is obviously have the new season when Kobus arrives. I'd like to see him be that 9 to be your main guy, And then I'd like to see Imad Khan be that
Yes.
guy coming off the bench
Took
and
the
start
words
building.
right out of my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Fully
that's
agree.
I think you guys have literally built the perfect platform. As Quibus is the perfect mentor for a guy like Imad Khan, and yeah, I think he needs to start, and then Imad Khan needs to come off the bench. And I think you guys have two classy nines, obviously a world class nine in Quibus Reinach, in my opinion, and then a nine that has so much potential. So yeah, I think it's exciting because you've been crying out for a nine
Yeah.
who's consistent, and I think Quibus will be that guy for you. So that's massive, massive for the Stormers.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it any better. Like, I've been pretty vocal in terms of that I don't want older guys coming back, right? Like I
Yeah,
wasn't too fussed about Steven Kitshoff coming back. Obviously, it's nice, right? I don't have an issue with it, but I'd rather keep our own players. But when you talk about the likes of a Kobus Reinach, who still plays for the Springboks at a very, very high level, in my opinion, he's still our best nine alongside Grant Williams. When you have a very good up and coming youngster to learn from him, like if there was no Imad Khan, I would look at this a bit differently, to be honest,
yeah,
right? But there's an Imad Khan there who's 20 years old or 19 years old, however young, right? Very, very good player. He can learn from Kobus Reinach, the best of the best. I want to see Imad Khan play a lot more rugby. He plays sensational rugby. I'm a big fan of the guy. Um, for him to learn from the experience that Kobus Reinach can bring and that partnership of a Kobus Reinach and a Mani Lubbock or Kobus Reinach and Sasha or even a Damien Willemse at fly-off, even Kobus Reinach with the likes of a Yuri Mattia, they can all feed around that. I just think that is an absolutely beautiful signing. And the way that we play our rugby, Reinach would fit in sensationally.
yeah.
Now, moving on to the guys that we might lose, I'm not going to talk about Paul de Wet and Herschel Yankees too much because I don't think they should be in the future plans necessarily. Not because they're bad players, but because of Reinach and because of Imad Khan. Right? Obviously, they can be on the bench. Obviously, you still have Ungerer there. I would love to see if Ungerer can just take his form forward that he had of last weekend. Then I have no problem with the guy. Tueba, he's had a good season, Brevan. Like we've been on his case a bit, right? But this season, his line-out accuracy, if I'm not mistaken, is 93%, which is a lot better than like the 12% it was at. And he's playing some good rugby again. Yeah, he's got the knock on here and there, but you can kind of see he's got a bit of hunger back. I think some of the criticism has got to him, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm going to play some rugby again." And he's had a very, very good season. That's obviously why he's been scouted to go abroad.
Yeah.
And I will actually miss Dweba if he continues this form, because this is the Dweba that I fell in love with before. I was like, holy shit, this guy is going to make me crazy, right? This is the Dweba that we want to see week in, week out, every single week. And he's been so consistent for us throughout the season. Obviously, we still have JJ Kortze and Andre Ugeventer, but I'd rather lose one of those two instead of Joseph Dweba. And the same actually goes for Salman Murat. Like he's also looked a bit better. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to losing him, right? I'm opposed to losing Dweba at the moment. But the thing is just the depth in our locks. We don't have that much locks, right? So it's tough when we get a nice player and then you have to lose two players. Can we stop losing players and just sign some bloody talent? Please.
Yeah, so I think obviously I was a huge fan of Dweba when he came into the whole picture, right? When he started at the Cheetahs, but he got his opportunity, big opportunity through the Cheetahs, and he took it, and he was playing some phenomenal rugby. And when I saw him there, I was like, this guy's going to be a Springbok, which he did turn out to be. And then from there, that's when it went pear-shaped. And yeah, I think you're right. He's definitely brought some kind of form back to his game. He's definitely trying to fix that line-out game of his. And the thing with Dwebe is, no matter what the form is, like the guy has the ability to be a very good hooker. And like I look at the frame of this guy, and you think this guy's massive. Like he is.
Yeah.
It's scary how big this guy is. And literally, if he just like fixed certain elements of his game, I still think he can be in the Springbok picture because I've seen him be that good. So that I agree. I think you don't really necessarily want to lose Dweber. I think your two hookers should be Dweber and Andre Ukrefenta. I mean, those are two great players.
I'm
But
more on
then,
the side of Dweber and JJ Kortza at the moment. Just my opinion, though.
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, but then like going on Murat, I think I don't know. I just think you guys could do so much better. Obviously, he has a big name. We have to accept that. Like he has a big name. He comes from being a leader in one of the best schools in the country. He captained the baby box as well. So he has a big name, and obviously that makes people skeptical to lose this guy. But honestly, I think there's better out there, and I think you guys could find better out there. For example,
Are you not on the side of he can still pick up his game, or do you think he's had enough?
anyone can. Don't get me wrong. Anyone can fix their game. It's just I've been saying it for a long time, since he was even younger than what he is now, is the fact that I just don't think the guy's physical enough for a four lock. Like
Yep.
I
It's not
don't
the
think he,
enforcer that you need.
yeah, exactly. And he plays four, he doesn't play five. And even if he played five, I don't see him working enough. Like I just don't. I think he's a very good leader. I think he's definitely got that in him. And I think people listen to him. But I just don't think he can back it up on the field. Like I said, anyone can fix their game. It's just for what you have him for, I don't think he does. And I don't think he ever will do that. So, yeah.
The thing for me is
I
is
think
the
there's better.
depth. For me, the thing is the depth. Do not get rid of Salman Murat unless we sign at least 2 more locks, predominantly 4 locks. Because if you just look at our squad and the actual 4 locks, I think it's him and Audrey Smith. I think all the rest are actually 5s. Like Ruben van Heerden is actually a 5, if I'm not mistaken. JD Schikkerling, Porter, whoever else, right? Those are all 5s. If you get rid of Murat, we have to back it up by signing a couple of other players. I don't want when there's injuries, we have a team that gets injured. You have to have enough squad depth, right? Stop getting rid of your players. Just stop. And if you're gonna get rid of them, invest that money straight back in, even if it's just on talent. Like the Stormers has never been this team that signs the major names. Like we don't do that. We make the major names and then take it out. Because what was it? A couple of episodes ago, we spoke about how good the Stormers team was going to be if we just kept our own players, right? Like, I don't even want to run through it again. So just either keep him or sign some bloody more locks. Anyway, quickly through the Bulls. This is not major news. We've heard about this before. It's not confirmed yet, but it looks like Willie Leroux is finishing up at the Bulls, going back to England. I thought he wanted to end his career in South Africa. That's the whole reason. Do you think there's backroom stuff, or I don't know if I said that right, but do you think there's something in the background going on where he's just like not enjoying his time in Pretoria, that he wants to go, or what could be the reason? Because he's first choice.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I wouldn't be able to talk about backroom stuff because I wouldn't know. But from what I can see, I don't think that there's issues. I think the players are very much together, and but ultimately, Willie is getting towards the end of his career, and maybe the Bulls are looking to start somewhere new. Obviously, 2 seasons at the Bulls. It's not nice to lose a player like Willie because you know what he brings. He brings a lot of experience. Yes, whilst he can make a few mistakes here and there, I still think he is a very intelligent player. I think he's very, especially in that Leinster game in the semi-final, just a player that really, really knew what he was doing, and he brought a lot of experience into that game and guided us home. So I'm not happy that we're losing him, but if he's ending it in England, that's very interesting to me. I don't know why
Why
he
not
would do
just
that.
go back to Japan? The money's even better.
Japan or even Imagine,
America.
would you take Nick? No, you never. But would you? Okay, actually, you guys are different. No, but like, okay, I can see there's no one here because he's not fitting in at you. Willems has got that spot, in my opinion. The Sharks, Fussie's there, not going to fit there. And then the Lions, I don't think
No,
they could
he's
afford
not
to
going
pay.
there.
Yeah, so yeah, it does make sense. If he's going to leave, he leaves elsewhere. But yeah, Japan would have been a much better choice for his. I mean, it's not a physical league. We know a lot of our boys go there because it's easier on the body. So yeah, interesting.
It's an interesting thing, right? Unless one of the Prem teams, because is it Bristol Bears that's speaking to him? Like,
I'm not 100% sure.
unless the money is like really good, can't be a money thing because I think there's more money going to play in Japan.
But then maybe there's no interest from Japan. Maybe it's just a thing of, I think there's interest from whoever it is in the UK, and he's taking it because ultimately the salary will still be incredible, and he will still be able to play Champions Cup if that's the case. He'll still be able to do whatever, be involved in all of that. So,
do you reckon their salaries are a lot higher than what the Bulls can offer?
Yes. People forget how much these players earn, like especially the big names.
Of course they earn a lot, but I'm pretty sure he didn't. To buy him out of a Japan deal would have cost a pretty penny anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he had a.
I think we must remember though, like, so SA Rugby is paying a certain portion of the salary as well, because a lot of these Springbok guys have basically two contracts where, yes, they contracted to the Bulls, but SA Rugby will also pay a portion of that salary because he's a major Springbok. So, yeah, ultimately, it's sad to see Billy go. I don't think Devin Williams is the guy to take us forward either.
No, he's also old.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to get a new fullback, unless you put your money, and I would do this because I trust the guy. Play Moody at 15.
I don't think Moody would want to play 15.
Okay, well then that's his problem. But ultimately, where he's too slow for a wing, in my opinion.
I'd rather go Curtly Orange at fullback and put, for instance, buy that guy from the Lions. Buy Rubs McSwane, put him on the wing. There you go. Or just play Sebastian de Klerk more. Well, that would be the obvious choice. That would be the cheaper choice as well.
We'll see what Jake's plans are.
Yeah.
Because he's got his own.
Anyway, let's get into the fixtures, Brevin. We'll stay on your team because you're playing the first game on the Saturday. Playing Stade Français back at Loftus. I'm expecting a full strength Bulls team.
Yeah, well, they put it all over their social media of like all these top stars training. So if they don't announce a proper team, then I'm going to be extremely disappointed. So yeah.
Okay. What's your thoughts on this one? You think you got it in the bag now? Is it time to get a victory 4 in a row?
We have to get a victory. And second of all, is Stade Français obviously still in contention, eh?
Let me make sure. They won't send their full strength team. I think they're struggling in the top 14. They are still in contention if Cast gets like no points out of this game, but then also they have to win with the bonus point and they have to build up a 34 points difference.
Oh, is it that bad? Okay, so it's
nothing. Not 34, 38.
Okay. No, even if I was just checking if like
they won't send the strongest team. I can't think that they do.
I was just thinking like whatever team they send, I think the Bulls need to win this game because you can't lose 4 in a row. Like it's just embarrassing. Especially with the type of team we have.
Already lost 4 in a row. You're talking about 5 in a row now.
Sorry, 5. Sorry. Like you can't be doing that with the talent you have at your disposal. And yeah, I think, look, obviously after this, it's URC, full on URC. We out of the Champions Cup, and it's time to switch on. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, you have such a good team at your disposal, but you're performing like this. It just doesn't make sense to me. So where's the Bulls of last season against Leinster? That team where I can just see no like faults. Obviously, every team has their faults, but a team that goes in, defends well, attacks well. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing lack of creativity. So yeah, it's a must win, and I expect them to win. So yeah, I'm gonna say Bulls to win this one. Even bearing in mind if it's a weaker team, I could see Bulls winning this one by like 20 points.
Yeah. I just switched mine. I'm on my predictions at the moment. I made it Bulls by 16 points. I think you'll be quite fair and then maybe start Français scores a couple of tries at the end, just like the Bulls usually do. Just give them a little snuff. But yeah, I'm backing you guys to get it done as well. I reckon you play full strength. I reckon Stade Français goes totally rotated, and then you get it home at Loftus. You need this victory. It is a must win. 4 defeats in a row. Get some confidence. You can't go into your derby matches with that run of form, because then you can easily just say, okay, bin the next 3 games as well. So yeah, Bulls by 16 points. Next up, who's the next South African team to play? That would be the Stormers taking on Racing. By the way, we didn't even mention it, but yeah, looks like Siya Kolisi is not coming to the Stormers. I said I don't really care about that. But anyway, Dobbo has come out and said, listen, we've never played the tournament. We haven't made the playoffs since we've been playing in Europe, and we're going to try our best to stick by that. And obviously, this is a must-win game for us as well to beat Racing. I think we're playing out against Racing to go through. So it's between us, Sale, and Racing. Racing is 1 point behind us. Harlequins is also on 5 points. So a win for us obviously secures it. Massive game for us. I would love it if the Stormers go and do it. We're on a great run of form. I think to travel up north, because we're obviously there for more than 1 week, so we're going to play a full-strength team. To get a victory in France, Racing isn't easy. I know, well, they're not the greatest, right? But any French team, the Stormers don't travel well. For us to get a victory there sets us up nicely for next weekend when we're abroad as well. I'm backing the boys. You got to back the boys.
You got to back the boys. I don't see it happening.
Shut up, Revan.
No, not because I'm a hater or anything. It's just that isn't. I just can't see. You could have put the Sharks in this fixture and I wouldn't have backed them. Like, it's just one of those things where I am not convinced by a South African team traveling up north. I'm not convinced by it. I'm already not convinced by them playing at home. So, obviously, I'd love it. Like, if the Stormers can do it, and obviously they're playing against a former teammate in Chiba Daimani. I mean, that's spicy. He'll feel like he has something to prove. But I don't know. I struggle to see a world where the Stormers
Is this purely based on our form traveling, not on our recent performances and results?
No, not at all. Like, I'm not saying the Stormers. I think the Stormers have definitely picked up their feet. But that being said, like, it's a tournament we're going to have to get used to, and it's going to take years of traveling to France or England or wherever it is and getting results, because it's not easy. People think it's just a game where you fly over and you play and you win because you have the better team, but it's really not about that. It's more about the fact that it's going to take adapting. It's a different play style. You have to get used to it, and it's going to take many years. And I just think I struggle to see the Stormers winning this.
I've got the Stormers by 5. I've got us to edge it out. Scrappy victory. I don't know what the weather is like there, but I've got us to just get it over the line.
Yeah, I personally could see Racing winning by 6. 2 penalties, really. It's just the fact that it's in France. They do have decent players at their disposal. And yeah, if there's one time to kind of get me on board with us or a South African team traveling, it's now. I'd love to see the Stormers do it. Convince me, prove me wrong. I'll happily sit here and eat my words. But yeah, I'm just going off what my head is saying, and yeah, Racing by 6.
Well, another team that has to travel to France, we've got Sharks versus Bordeaux.
And again, I don't back them.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to be mean, but you'd kind of be a bit stupid to back the Sharks against Bordeaux. In Bordeaux, Bordeaux's top of the league, top of the table. They're above Toulouse.
Yeah,
that is crazy. That is crazy.
You'd be crazy to like, and I'm sure the Sharks will. In fact, they have sent their full strength team.
Well, they need 1 point, right? Because Ulster and Exeter both are still on 0.
Well, then that's chips, man. They should get 1 point, in my opinion.
I think Ulster and
Actually, wait. To get 1 point, they'll need to score 4 tries, which I don't see them doing, or they'll need to lose within 7, which I don't see them doing.
Yeah, but is Ulster or Exeter gonna beat up each other enough, and the Sharks lose by enough to make up a 66-point margin?
Yeah, I remember we did chat about this. Personally, I think the Sharks lose this one by about 16 points, 17 points.
Really? What do you
like? Oh, yeah. But wait.
Yeah, I've got Sharks to lose by 19. So.
I'm thinking now, Toulouse is pretty much through, right? Yeah. Not Toulouse, sorry, Bordeaux.
Toulouse and Bordeaux are both... Toulouse, Bordeaux, and Leicester Tigers, all 3 of them already confirmed through.
But then... how much? Obviously, home ground advantage is big in this tournament. So
I don't. Do you reckon Bordeaux even plays their strongest team?
But that's what I'm thinking. If they are through, do they even go for? It's going to be interesting. I'm going to base my theory on 2 of the strongest teams being picked, and with that being said, I think the Sharks lose by 17 points.
I've switched it now to Bordeaux by 11 points. Let's make it 9. I'm going to switch it to 9 points. My reason being the same as the Toulouse game. If the Sharks pick their strongest team, it's just in their DNA to pick up their game when they play against a strong team. That's why they don't necessarily get smashed. I know they got hammered by Leicester Tigers, but that was a very different Sharks team. I reckon Sharks go full strength in this game, give them their best possible opportunity to succeed or to move forward in the tournament. And I do reckon they pick up their game. And by the way, Bordeaux, twice that they've let Ulster stay in the game, and they let Leicester Tigers also stay in the game for a very long time. And if they do that to the Sharks, I think the Sharks can keep it either low scoring, or at some point they can get that 4 tries. If the Sharks have one thing, it's an attacking threat, right? If they just focus on that and hammer away, get that 1 point, I can't see why they can't keep it in 9 points. Now, obviously, Bordeaux is quality, like real quality. And if this wasn't kind of all to play for the Sharks, I would have them by 19 to 30 points, Bordeaux. But just because there's something in it for the Sharks, I think they might snap at it and keep it kind of in a decent point margin, if you get what I mean. That's just the way that I'm leaning with it.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see, because this is a real test for the Sharks. And obviously the Sharks have had a lot of expectations coming into the season of performing, getting results, doing well in the RC and the Champions Cup. And I mean, when we spoke about our predictions and who's going to be a dark horse, we did mention the Sharks, so
yeah,
it's do or die for them. If they can even walk out of it with a bonus point, I think that's a good job, well done, and they can focus on from there. But yeah, all bearing in mind, we don't know what teams are being selected, but
and the big thing for the Sharks is they're playing after Ulster and Exeter, because that's the first game of the weekend, so they will know exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I just think France is not an easy place to go, and then again, Bordeaux is just Bordeaux, so yeah. Going to be interesting though.
We can chat about the rest a bit quicker. So Ulster and Exeter, first game of the weekend. I've got Ulster to win it by 7. I don't think they necessarily smash any teams. Ulster doesn't usually get smashed either. I know they got hammered by Toulouse and then in the end by Bordeaux as well. But they don't tend to lose by much. They don't tend to win by much, really. It's just a nitty-gritty team, in my opinion. Still a quality team. Ulster will know they have a little bit of a sniff as well, and I think they just make it a close game. I'm going Ulster home ground advantage as well by 7 points. To be fair, Exeter's only won 1 game, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm basing it on that as well.
Yeah, I think Ulster have the home advantage, you said, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good deciding factor. Both teams not up to their best, is what we know they have been in the past. But yeah, it's Ulster is a team that still manages to make nitty-gritty games, like you said, and I think they have something to work towards in the URC. So it's time. I think a win for them will be good. And I think Ulster is just the better team, if I'm going to be honest. I think they're slightly better. So, but by that being said, I think Ulster to win by 10.
Yeah, and then we've got a replay of the round of 16. I think it was round of 16 that these two met last season. Saints versus Munster. That's going to be a banger. Saints, they'll feel a bit hurt after they lost last weekend. Munster will have to kick on. Please, just some consistency. Even for the Munster fans. What's the table even looking like for these guys at the moment? Saints, it's number 1 versus number 2, right? So it's all to play for. Because you get that top spot, you're getting your own playoffs. Obviously, 2 gets it as well. But if you get number 1, you kind of have a home right until the end. So This is massive for both teams, but home ground advantage for Saints. I'm going to back them to get it done. They've looked a bit better this season than Munster. Munster's been so up and down. Like when I back them, they don't do well. When I don't back them, they shit the bed. I just don't know with them. So I'm backing Saints to get it done.
Yeah, I'm with you. Saints are actually a very good team. Like people don't realize like the talent they have at their disposal.
They won the Prem.
Yeah, and then obviously just doing very well in the Champions Cup last year, and then also doing well this year. So, yeah, I think Saints probably have the more quality on their side, home advantage. I think Munster will definitely make it a tussle. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think Saints will be too good, too much quality, and I can personally see Saints winning it by like 12 points.
I've got 12 on the dot as well. Yeah.
One of those games where it's just like they're just too good. Like no matter how much Munster tries.
Munster stayed in the game the previous time these two met, and then at the end, Saints just ran away with it. It looked like Munster completely gassed out. But yeah, I'm backing Saints as well. 12 points. I think that's a fair scoreline. Clermont at home taking on Bristol Bears. I'm backing the French team at home once again. Like they're so tough to beat at home. Clermont, they've been very good in the top 14. They've been impressive. Obviously, they got beat by a clinical Bath last weekend. But Bristol just making life look so tough. They had such a good start to the season. And now then possibly should have lost to Benetton over the past weekend. So I'm backing Clermont. I think Bristol Bears will be a bit better. But I'm backing Clermont to get it done by 5 points. I think this will be a classic game to watch. But my eyes will obviously be fixed on Saints versus Munster. But yeah, I'm backing the Frenchies to get it done.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I just think going to France is one of the hardest tasks. Like I think it's so difficult to go to France and win. I think the atmosphere is something else. It's hostile. The French teams always bring heat. It's not like they're going to come and give you a terrible performance. And even if they do give you a terrible performance, like I said, it's just one of those games where it's like you have to hold on. Because if you don't, and you're not sharp and you're not fully focused on that game, I swear, like it can backfire. So, yeah.
Not only one of these two can advance, right? Both of them are below Benetton by 2 points.
Sure. Damn. So does that basically? Wait, does that basically mean Benetton is through or not? Or
No,
they
so
fourth?
if one wins, right? Benetton's playing La Rochelle. Let's actually chat about
Okay.
it, right?
Yeah.
Benetton's playing La Rochelle, but they're playing in Treviso. So
Yeah. Still back
if,
Irish
for
shots.
instance, if one of the two teams win and the other one gets like 2 bonus points, they can still end up on 7 as well. But then Benetton has to kind of get smashed by La Rochelle to make up for that points difference.
Oh.
Thing is, I can't see Benetton getting smashed by La Rochelle. I know La Rochelle's a quality team, like we saw it this past weekend. But Benetton, when they have something to play for, in Treviso, they beat Bath. You know they can be a quality team. They've given the Bulls troubles at Loftus as well. When Benetton just decides to play rugby, they play some of the best rugby that you will see. I don't think the Stormers has even won or beat Benetton in Italy. It's crazy. So I'm backing La Rochelle to still get it done. I'm going by 14 points, but I don't think that will be enough to have Bristol or Clermont go through.
Yeah. So, well, going back on that, obviously Clermont should take that Bristol game, and then, yeah, La Rochelle obviously sitting top, right, of that group.
No, Leinster.
No, Leinster. Sorry. Okay.
It's Leinster, La Rochelle, Bath. Bath is also on 7 points. Bath is playing Leinster. So maybe Bath falls out. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's interesting because
The points
does
difference is too good.
La
So
Rochelle take a fully strength team to Treviso? Like,
I
I think
reckon
they should.
because they are not they are not secure. They are not safe yet.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, no, that's
I don't know.
interesting. Ultimately, it's going to be interesting. I think La Rochelle wins that. I can't. My amount is based on them paying full strength. I can see them winning by 20 odd points, full strength. I get what you're saying with Benetton, but
Wouldn't
yeah,
it be the most Benetton thing to actually beat La Rochelle?
it would. It would. We keep saying it. We keep saying, "Oh no, Benetton," or la, 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 and then they do the opposite. It's like Munster. They like go hand in hand. So yeah, it's actually. I'm glad that there's things to play for, and it's not just these end of round games where no one cares.
It's
So
exciting group, this one, hey?
yeah, and then obviously Leinster versus Bath. Who's at home there?
Leinster's at home. I've got Leinster by 8 points. I do reckon Bath will put up a fight. They were very, very good against Clermont. Thomas Dutoy again. Finn Russell was very good. But I reckon Leinster get it done. You just don't beat Leinster really at home. They're just that quality. You saw it against La Rochelle. They were under the pump. So I've got Leinster by 8 points over Bath.
Yeah. Leinster just that team where again I think they don't even get out of third gear in this game, and they win it by like you say 8-9 points.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Leinster's just this team that are so good that they don't need to get into the higher gears for these teams because the quality and the structure of their play is just so good.
Yeah.
And obviously we saw Jacques Nina, whoever you credit to, the defensive pattern of Leinster against La Rochelle, right?
They looked indestructible.
Exactly. Like, the defense looks insane. And obviously, that does have something to do with Nina because he's bringing what he brought to the Springboks there. And it's relentless defense. And yeah, it's when you can't break through a team like that, it's so demotivating. You feel
Yeah.
like nothing
I just
you
don't
can
see
win.
where Bath even gets a point because I don't reckon they stay within 7, and I don't reckon they score 4 tries, which obviously is
Yeah.
a bit nerve-wracking for them.
Yeah, again, yeah, Leinster to win. I can see it being like a 12-point win, somewhere
Yeah.
there. And yeah, going to be interesting.
Next up, very exciting game. Do you remember this game in the was it round of 16 quarterfinal? Harlequins versus Glasgow. Rematch there
Oh yeah,
of last season.
isn't this when Harlequins won?
Yeah, yeah. they took out Glasgow. I can't remember where it was though. I think it was at the Stoop, and they're playing at the Stoop again. I don't think they played in Glasgow. But I'm backing Glasgow to get it done. What a quality team. Obviously, I wouldn't write off Harlequins. They literally beat Glasgow last season. But Glasgow, they want to solidify that position at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sorry, they're in second, so they need to learn to lose to Sale or not get all of their points at least.
Yeah, not happening.
Yeah.
Yes, 40-0 and you want to go and get a result against Toulon. Yo. But no, like honestly, I think Glasgow are looking very good this season. Very, very. Obviously, they did have a hiccup, but like I said, every team will have their hiccups along the way. But they're looking very good. Very good. Like you said, they'll want to secure at least second, whether they have already or not, I don't know. But they're a quality side. And, I mean, you look at Harlequins this season, they have just not been the same, not the same team that I saw last season.
Toulon and Glasgow both have secured their spots in the next round. Harlequins, Stormers, and Sale, all three of them on 5 points, and Racing on 4 points. How sexy is that?
So, obviously, Toulon is first, Glasgow is second, third is
Harlequins, but only on points difference by 14 points. No, sorry, 21 points. I was looking at it.
How far behind are you behind Harlequins?
21 points. On
No,
points
like as in points on the log.
It's 5-5.
Imagine a world where you somehow pick up like you win, and then like Racing picks up a losing bonus point and somehow gets like a 4-try bonus point. Does that mean Harlequins then drops out completely? Because then they'll get
Harlequins can drop if Racing beats us, right? Or even if they get 2 bonus points, and Sale somehow gets a bonus point against Toulon, right? And we beat Racing or whatever, and Harlequins gets nothing. Harlequins are out.
Oh, this is interesting.
Well, actually, not even that much, because that just means they end up last. So even less has to happen for them to end up 5th. So I'm going Glasgow by 9.
Yeah, I don't think Glasgow absolutely something. That's the thing. Like I think
it's high scoring, but I'm going Glasgow by 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Glasgow by 7. I think it's a tad closer than what we would maybe think. But I don't know. I think Harlequins obviously have something to play for, so they will be up for it.
Then we have the final 3 games. We'll go through these a bit quicker. I think they're easier to predict. Saracens versus Cast. I know Cast thumped you guys, but they're a very different team when they travel. They are like renowned to be an easy team when they travel. Very tough to beat at home. We've seen it, but we've also seen them getting crunched if they travel. Saracens lost to Munster. It's a big game for them. They're on 3rd spot at the moment. They do have the opportunity to surpass Munster, obviously, if Saints beats Munster as well, which gives them that home game. They'll go full strength. I've got Saracens. We saw Saracens just playing some genuinely quality rugby, understanding their game against the Bulls. I reckon they do the exact same against Cast, and I've got them by 11 points.
Yeah, I mean, Saracens at home is a tough team to beat. Like, there's no joking about it. And like you said, Cast, obviously, maybe not the same team when they travel. And like I said, whilst they did thump us until 60 minutes against our, you can call it D team, it was 16-10, where we still had a sniff, which is, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect us to have a sniff in that game at all. I think Saracens obviously will be looking for. Saracens lost their last game, correct?
Yeah, they lost to Munster.
Yeah, I think
That's why
that will
this is a
hurt.
must-win game for them. They're on the exact same points. There's a points
Yeah,
difference by 1 point, but we predicted Saints to beat Munster. So if Saracens get something from this game, they pip out Munster and then they get home playoffs.
yeah. No, I definitely see that happening. I think Saracens they'll want that home advantage for sure. And then again, I think they're just too strong for Cast. And yeah, I think they're gonna be playing full strength. And yeah, I don't see Cast even winning this or coming close. I can see it being like a 15, 16 point win for Saracens.
Yeah. Next up, Toulouse versus Leicester Tigers. Toulouse at home. In front of their own crowd. I can't see Tigers keeping this game too close. There's too much quality in this Toulouse team. Back to their normal French flair. Just kind of out muscling Tigers. Now, Tigers, they've been renowned this season for getting a couple of scrappy victories. They've looked good in the Champions Cup. I mean, I was very impressed by them against Bordeaux. I know Bordeaux ran away with it, but they had a very, very good performance. They wiped the floor with the Sharks. I'm going with Toulouse to win it with pure quality, 24 points victory. I do believe Tigers can stay in it for a little bit and then concede tries, just for a tiny bit.
Yeah, again, I think people are gonna learn how good that Toulouse team is. Like
Are you going
it's
above 24 points?
no. I'm probably gonna go a bit lower, but yeah, definitely not a close game. I think I can easily see Toulouse winning it by like 18, 19 points. I just think Leicester, obviously, they've always been a little bit of or not a little bit, they've always been a tough team. And I think they've had a very good informed Andre Pollard as of recent, which I think has been crucial for them.
And Freddie
And
Stewart
Pollard,
has been immense as well.
yeah, and Freddie Stewart. So I think you're looking at two players there that bring a lot of quality, and they obviously have other players that bring a lot of quality. That's why I just think this is why we regard Toulouse as the best, or one of the best, because what they can do to a team like Leicester Tigers is scary. And I think they'll do exactly that, like 18, 19 points with ease. I really see them not, like in the Sharks game, they didn't look troubled. And I don't think they'll look troubled again.
And then the final game of the weekend, Sale Sharks versus Toulon. Now,
Sales at home.
Yeah, and they are a lot better at the AJ Bell. I call them on Casual Buyers Rugby the AJ Bell bullies because their home form is usually very good. But I've got Toulon to do the job at the AJ Bell as well. I'm backing Toulon to do it, but I do reckon it will be a good performance. I mean, if you look at that Sale performance against Racing 92, you would see the quality that they really do have. Let's not beat around the bush. The Stormers were good, Sale were bad, but I do reckon also it was a very off day for Sale when they came to Cape Town. I reckon it's a bit of a different story when they go home. I do reckon they get a single point, maybe 2 points out of it. But I've got Toulon to edge over the line by 4 points. It could be more, but I'm going 4 points.
Yeah, I was thinking 5. Yeah, I just think, like you said, Sale a lot better at home, but Toulon will want that top spot secured. So yeah, I think that's actually I can see that being a very good game, like a very, very good game.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it's gonna be close throughout, and I can literally see Toulon, winning it by 5, like not much, just a single try, not much more.
Yeah. That brings us
Yeah.
to the end of it, Brevan. Nearly went an
Cool.
hour. Holy
Wow.
shit. People, thank you for watching. If you're still watching, because I know it's been a long time. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys. And then we will see you guys on Monday again with our weekend review. Bye-bye.